This is Raymond Aguilera with the Cook's Kettle, and today what's cooking local is a pie in a jar. We have various ingredients here. We have mushrooms, green onion, carrots, peas, celery, and chicken with a little bit of chicken broth. This ingredient, you could actually change it up to your liking. You could do chicken or beef, you could do any types of pie. What you're going to want to do is take the lid of the jar and make a round. And your dough, today's dough we're using a puff pastry. So once you get that dough around, you're going to set that aside. You want to smush this down because in a minute we're going to actually take this jar and push this pastry up against inside the jar. Once you push that down, go ahead and cut it into a smaller piece, into about 12 by 12 square or whatever size jar you like to use. Go ahead and fold it in as if you were going to put wrap inside of a gift bag. Once you do that, you're going to push your dough up against the glass. You want to make sure there's no air pockets or any kind of advantage for the heat to cook it more than you would want it. Now the joys about this is that you could do any types of pies. You could do desserts such as cobbler or apple pie, cherry pie, or you could do different types of pot pies, chicken, beef. You could do a stew, mushroom, cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, or whatever. You're going to want to leave about 1 inch to 1.5 inches, so about where the end of the lid comes down. Go ahead and put some chicken with your celery, your peas and carrots, your green onion, and your mushrooms. Your mushrooms you're going to want to try to cut as fresh as possible. Of course you're going to dice it just like the rest of them. Go ahead and add that right in and mix it up a bit. After you're done mixing it up, you're going to want to take your jar and fill in your ingredients. You're going to fill it up to a little less than the rim of the dough. To about there. At this point, you're going to want to take your chicken broth and pour it in. Make sure it's nice and juicy because when it bakes off, it's going to get really dry. Go ahead and get your lid of your dough and push it in. You're going to want to smush in the dough that's in the jar with the dough that's of your lid. And yes, you're going to get extra liquid on top, which is what you want, because if you don't have the liquid on top, it's going to burn. Go ahead and get that nice and smushed in. So it's going to look like a soupy dough, kind of. Go ahead and take your knife and just make a slit right in the center. And you're going to pop this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 35 to 40 minutes or until it's golden brown. So after cooking from 35 to 40 minutes or until it's golden brown, you're going to end up with a product such as this. It's going to be a golden brown, nice and juicy pot pie in a jar. What you're going to want to do after it cooks is let it stand for about 10 to 15 minutes. That's so the jar could kind of cool down. Once you serve it, you're going to want to serve it on a platter as well. Here we also have a dessert that I've made up. This is a Mandarin orange and white chocolate. You could serve this particular dish either as a main course, appetizer, or dessert. That's the joys about this. You can play around with it to however you like. You also find that recipe as well in the cookbook. And this is Pie in a Jar. This is Raymond Aguilera with the Cook's Kettle, and that's what's cooking local.